Let me just sort myself out. And if you are watching already, please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Hello. Hi, Shell. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I'm just waiting on a... Hi, Linda. I assume you can hear me. Thumbs up for anyone that can hear me. Just last thing I've got to check. Oh, excellent. Thanks, Susan. Welcome. Thanks, Linda. Hi, everybody. Sorry about my lighting tonight. I have taken the background off my Tim Holtz thing here, and obviously you get a bit of glare with the light, so the joys of crafting at night. But once we have the page on here, that will go away. So welcome to another Thursday night free mini art, no, I won't say art journal class, because I'm not doing an art journal tonight. I'm going to do a scrapbooking page layout as requested by several of my lovely followers from the other week. So welcome. I'm Naomi, and of course I'm one of the brand ambassadors for Natalie May Scrapbooking. Apologies for the glare there, but I do, it's much better if I do, there we go. So all the products you see me using today, obviously I've got them all from Natalie May Scrapbooking, and there's the website nataliemay.com.au. And please, if you haven't already, join our Facebook group. We love seeing what you're creating. We love seeing you being inspired by anyone, anything, whatever is going on with you. So whatever inspires you, we love seeing it. So please share on our Natalie May Scrapbooking creative community. We love other people sharing as well as we love sharing with you. So, and if you haven't seen, there is new contact details for the team now that we have Cassia on board. So, have a look. I can't remember exactly what they are, but I think it's natalie@nataliemay.com.au and hello@nataliemay.com.au for customer service. So Natalie is a separate email now. Gives her a bit more time to free up to do all the creative things with her help. So tonight I'm going to do a mixed media page using some Vicky Bouton papers. And we all know, and if you don't know, you must have been living under a rock, but the wonderful Vicky Bouton is visiting one location only in Australia on land, and it is Natalie May Scrapbooking. So if you are able to get down to Adelaide in November, jump onto the website and make sure you save your spot to do a fabulous class with, or a weekend, I think it is, with the lovely Vicky. So I don't know about you guys, but I seem to buy... Hi, Christine. Oh, yes, I can hear the NRL in the background. Hi, Tegan. I seem to, every time Vicky brings out a new line, I need it. I love her papers. I love everything she does. And what I love most about it is that you can mix the ranges up. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. And a bit of mixed media in there using magicals and some stencils as well. So let's crack into it. Um, I'm actually going to be using the Fernwood collection tonight. So if you haven't seen the papers, I think there might be a few individual papers available on the website, but you can still get this paper pad as well. This one, and I go between this one and my Colour Study. I've still got Colour Study, Sweet Rush. I don't think I put myself on a band for scrapbooking papers until I use some more. So I didn't get print shop, but I do have print shop stencils and stamps, and I love them. So I'll probably get, once I finish my Fernwood, I think I might get print shop. And then the next one is Where to Next. So I'm kind of keen to get that one as well. So what is great about Vicky's papers, if you haven't seen it before, I'll do a little flick through. I cut bits out. So Vicky's always got papers that you can fussy cut pieces. So I have a little bag that I put aside that I like to fussy cut bits out. I have to admit, I hate fussy cutting, but I did a lot of fussy cutting when I was really unwell with COVID. I was bored out of my brain, but no energy. So I sat on the couch fussy cutting out Vicky Booten paper. And so I'm going to be using some of those tonight. Some of these butterflies, I've left half the page in there. The great thing about Vicky's papers is they're double-sided and they're already colour coordinated for you. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is using a piece of paper with both sides. So these, I've cut out a heap of those. She's always got cameras in them. There's always tags. So tonight I'm actually going to be using, I will find it. And if you haven't used Vicky's papers before, they are different if you buy the pad to the individuals. So because this is an older one, Natalie does have a little bit of individual papers, but mostly she just has this pad for the Fernwood collection. I know there's still stamps as well available. So I'm going to be using this page here, and in most of the pads you get 2 of each pattern. So what's great is that they're colour coordinated for you. Look, all the hard work's done. There's our 2 colours. So, hi Pat, welcome. You've got your tickets, I believe, Susan, to see Vicky. That sounds great. So I'll just give you a little idea here of the fussy cutting that I've previously done. And it's all the different ranges. So some of them I won't be able to even tell you. I know that the pencils, which I haven't used yet, but I sat there and fussy cut out all these little pencils off a sheet from Colour Study. Some of the butterflies that I just showed you before, I may add tonight, or moths. They're moths. Yep, moths. I've got some of these that I've cut off, which I may use some of those as well. There's some flowers in there. There's some of these guys. So you literally could buy a pad and without any of the ephemera bits, and you've got all your embellishments there. I do have a stash of Vicky Booten ephemera. It has come from various ranges and I have had them for a while, so they all became one big stash, and that's how they're stored because they just go so well together. It doesn't really matter. Like, I don't really care that it comes from one range or another. She tends to have things that can go between the different ranges. They're so versatile. So I'll just clean that up quickly, and I'm going to get a bit messy with some magicals, only a little bit. I'm not going to get too messy, but I just want to show you how I bring some mixed media into our scrapbooking pages, and I've got a couple of other pages that I've prepared for you earlier. So let's crack into it. Now I've picked my photos. I'm going to put 2 photos. I'm a bit of a 2-photo person, probably because I take so many photos that now I've lost my other photo. Here we go. I haven't trimmed these down at all, and I'm still scrapbooking my 2021 photos and this is from lockdown when I was doing craft with a toddler and working at home. So when I start looking at a page and what colors I want, sometimes I pick the colors and then pick the photos, but a lot of the time I try and pick my color scheme from the main part of my photos. So I've got browns and yellows here and a bit of blue, and a bit of yellow there. There's a bit of teal there. So you'll see that those colors are in the papers that I've selected. All right. So this is where I'm going to mix up the ranges. So this is, if you haven't bought Vicky Boutin stencils before, they are a great price point. And she always has different patterns, and you get 3 in a set. So this one is the print shop. So not the most recent range that's available. She does have a new one that's about to be released. Where to next? This is the print shop one, which is available already. So you get 3 stencils. So we've got this one. I'm not sure if you can see that, that one, and then this one. And they coordinate together. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a scrapbooking page today. But really good price point for 3 stencils. And they're a great size too. So I happen to have 2 versions of it. So I'm going to start with this one tonight. But first of all, I'm going to bring in my colours. So my magicals that I've worked out that I'm going to use are, I'm using Red Hot Poker Orange, and I'm using Maple Syrup Bronze. Now, the Maple Syrup Bronze is from the new Canadian, I can't remember the name of it, range. And the Red Hot Poker Orange I've had for a while. And I just felt that those colours were in these papers. They coordinate. We've got a bit of a brown tone there, a bit of brown tone there with the maple syrup bronze, and a bit of I wanted like a dirty orange. I was planning to use Natalie's orange from her set, the Flat Magicals, but it was a bit too bright for this orange. So that's how I've picked the colours that I'm going with here. And let's get into it. So what I'm doing when I scrapbook, majority of the time I do 2 pages. So what I have done is I have already prepped a page, and I don't do them exactly the same. I like to have them coordinating. So I will show you what I've prepared earlier, and I will work on that page. But this page I'm going to start with. So before I put my liquid down, so I've got one of these cut out from that, and I haven't finished cutting it. It's kind of half cut. I might use a little bit of it. I might cut them up. I'm not really sure yet. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go across the page. Or do I go cut no, I might even go diagonal. So bear with me. I have a plan, and I'm going to get there. So I'm going to put my liquid, I'm going to rip off the edges here, and put paper underneath. So I want to put those in the middle here with some magicals around them. So that's where I'm going to aim for here. Now, what I do have handy is just a piece of acetate. I think it might have even come off the front of something that I've ordered. Mine's pretty dirty, but it's not wet dirty, it's dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the kissing technique, which, yes, we've all probably learnt the kissing technique off Natalie. So you can do this with watercolor. You can do it you don't have to do it in a scrapbook page. You can do the same thing in a art journal page. It is the same effect. So I'm using the maple bronze first. And I'm just using it on my glass mat here. I'm just dipping a wet brush straight into the pot, and I'm making a bit of a puddle here. And actually, I could just put it straight on here rather than on there. So when you go straight on here, the maple has a bit of a dirty blue to it. At first I thought, oh God, my water's dirty when I first did it, but it's actually the colour when it mixes. So it is good to mix it on a mat or a messy mat, so you can just see, because that first dip I did had a lot of that messy dark blue in there. And that's the joys of magicals. We don't get things twice. So all I'm doing is using my acetate, and I'm just going to roll that onto the page. Now, I'm not looking to have a really wet page, and I'm just using Kezia Craft plain cardstock tonight. I'm not using anything special because I'm not putting a heap of liquid. If I was using texture paste, I normally use my marshmallow cardstock or the Vicky Britton's foundation paper. But being I'm just doing a light touch of some magicals, you see that I don't have a lot of liquid here. And I'm sorry, I've got carried away. I haven't seen any comments, though that's okay. I haven't missed anything. So just, and I have a pot of water because I'm using two colors that are the same or similar tones. It's okay that I've got a pot of water that I'm re-dipping into. So that's actually a really nice color. And now that I've got that on here, I'm just gonna whip that on there. So we're just kissing the paper. We're not pressing down at all. And that's how you get that that textured look there. Now I am going to come in with, show you how to use your stencils with some magicals in a minute, which is not something I do often, but I'm kind of on a roll with getting my 2021 photos in an album. So I'm trying to keep up with it. I really need to, because I need to start scrapbooking 2022, and I'm also trying to prepare to bring some things to the retreat that I can do. So I want to make sure I've got my photos and that sort of thing. All right, I'm just popping a little bit more over this side. Now, if that was too dark for you, you could add some water to it. I'm not going to, because I don't want that much liquid. All right. Now, I'm just going to clean that up. So that is the maple syrup bronze, and I've just used the kissing technique there for anyone that's just joined. And I'll just give that a baby wipe. Now, I've been very prepared this week. If you were here last time with me and you heard me say how I accidentally forgot to put my stencils into some water, and I spent 2 hours scraping my stencil free of texture paste. Well, I am prepared tonight. I have a bucket of water next to me on the floor here, and I am going to dunk my stencils in. So I'm using the circle stencil to start with, and what I'm looking at doing is I'm going to layer over across there. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going with the Red Hot Poker Orange, and I'm just opening that up, and I'm using two colors that are the similar tones. So it's tone on tone, and they're very similar. So again, I'm just dipping a wet paintbrush in there. You could make one up in a pot if you want, but I tend to not do that a lot. So I'm just painting on my magicals straight on here with a brush. If I do it, it doesn't matter if I drip, if I'm over my page. And I still haven't got to the shops to get myself some puppy training pads. Tegan, we really need to do that next week. So because I'm not using I'm not doing sprinkle and spritz technique tonight, so I don't need it. Now I need a paper towel prepared that I have over here. So I'm just using it like a stamp, and I'm just popping it on here onto my page and pressing down. And you can use your hand. I'm just saving the ink. So it's a textured look. It's not, I don't want anything crisp. I will re-water that, re-ink that, I should say. Bit more. And I'm not using a lot of liquid here, as I put a lot more liquid onto the thing. But it's just a nice, easy way to add a bit of texture and utilize those stencils that you have in your scrapbooking. So if you have, you could do this with watercolors. You could spray, if you've got sprays, you could spray. Now I'm just going to move that across there so I line those circles back up. It doesn't really matter if you don't do it well, but yeah, you could use the spray your stencil off away from what you've got going on there, and you could spray the same thing if you've got the sprays. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it does give, and I'll show you the dry one after, but it does give a great result. And you know, you have such I have a piles of beautiful stencils, so yeah, it's a great technique to use. Now I've just realized I'm slowly getting close over here to my page, and I don't want to go into it too much, so again, just popping that down there, pressing down onto there. No, I didn't give it that enough. That hasn't given me enough of what I'm looking for here, so I'm going to go over that. I'm going to get some more water, bit more magicals, and intensify that a bit. And that's the beauty of, I'm not after anything perfect, so I can just go over it. These stencils, they're actually layered stencils. Most, not all of them, but a lot of Vicky's stencils, you can layer them over the top of each other, and I'll be layering onto this later tonight. All right, so I'm just going to go over the top again. Somehow I'll try and get that lined up. There we go. And just grabbing my paper towel. That's better. That's a bit more what I'm after. And I'll just finish up the other end. I mean, it's a great little technique. It's not rocket science, but yes, you can definitely paint with your magicals. So I'm going to turn that around. So the only thing you want to do is just try and line up if you're going over the top, and I haven't lined up there, but that's okay. And I'm just pushing over the top up this end for that one. And that is that. I will pop my stencil into the water. So there we go. I'll bring that up and show you. So tone on tone and magical kissing technique with the stencil over the top. And you may not be able to see it very well on the camera, but there's some shimmer coming through both those colours on there. So I'll pop that aside, and oh, sorry, before I finish that, I can't leave this untouched, so just going to pop a bit more liquid here. And of course we need some splatters. My dog is molting so bad. I keep finding dog hair all over my craft room. So just some splatters with the darker colour. You could have done this with a lighter colour too, but that's not kind of the effect that I'm after. Bit of a smoker's tap there. flicking it around so it's away from my iPad and my lampshade, which is a nice colour of, it's a Magicals Rainbow Splatter over there. So just adding, using up that excess. All right, now I will wipe that up. I will put the lid on my Magicals. And that's as messy as I'm getting tonight. Would you believe it? I know, it's very clean for me. I was writing something for, I can't really say, but something I was doing the other day, and I've noticed how much my scrapbooking style has changed over the years, and most of my pages now have Magicals or some sort of liquid on them. Hi Sarah, welcome. So that's what we've done with the Magicals. That's our mixed media side of it. And here's one I prepared earlier. So you can see I've got, oh yeah, the shimmer is coming up there. So we've got the kissing technique underneath there, and then I've gone over the top with the stencils and then the splatters, and that's exactly the same, but because I do 2 pages, I prepared this one earlier, and you can see here that the maple syrup color here had more of the dirty pigment on this side than it did over here, but that's okay. I'm good with that. All right, so next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this side of the paper because I've already fussy cut the other side, but I'm not going to use it all. I'm going to rip some of my page so that this can come through. So this might shock some of you, and sorry, I just knocked the camera. And apologies if you can hear my husband yelling at the football. That just seems to be a standard Thursday night for us now. All right, so now I don't want to waste that whole piece of the Vicky Bouton paper underneath. I will only use a small portion. I'm just putting that there so I can see how much, like how it's going to look. So I'm going to cut off a bit there with my cutter, but I'm also going to take a bit from this side as well. And I think I'll just go the similar shape. Now, I'm sure there's a way you're supposed to rip a certain angle, a certain way. I never seem to get that right, so I just rip and then tidy these bits up. But I'm actually okay with those bits because I want a bit of a curl on the edge there. All right, so let's layer this up. So I'll just get my cutter. I have to say, doing a scrapbooking page live on a Facebook is a lot harder than doing an art journal page. There's definitely a lot more thought that has to go into it. All right, so I think I want the lines to go that way. So all I'm going to do, I'm not a measurer, so I'm literally just going to rip there and then cut. And we're about there. And the reason I'm doing this, I could put the whole page underneath, but I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste, like there's, oops, that hasn't cut properly. Have to fix that. Hey, Nat. Yeah, I don't want to waste my Vicky Bouton paper, so I'm just cutting off a bit there. Bit fiddly, but you'll get the picture. So I'm just flicking over my cardstock, and I just realised while I did that, I didn't cut off the end of my paper. So let's cut that off too. Because I don't know if anyone's done this, but I've certainly done it multiple times that I've gone to put a scrapbooking page in my album, and it doesn't fit because I haven't cut the end bit off. All right, so we are, which way was it going? That way. So that's my top. Not that it matters. All right, so I'm just using a bit of double-sided tape around that rip and a little bit up there. All right, so, and I will trim the Vicky Booten papers. All of her papers have the I don't know what this piece is called, the strip across the top that has the hole in it, and they're usable because they're coloured and they match the papers. So I'm just lining that up, and I'll just rip that off. So those stencils are print shop stencils, and we are using Fernwood paper. All available on the website. This paper is available individually, but also Nat still has the Fernwood paper pack available, and I think it's even on special. So there we go. And when you use good old Casey Craft cardstock, you can get a little bit of a warp in it. I actually use a laminator, and I don't laminate with it. The only thing I've laminated with it is my Natalie May scrapbooking sign that I put up in the before lives, but I just will pop that through before I stick anything, and it just gives it a bit, it flattens it out if it's got a bit of liquid on it. So just doing the same on the other side, not wanting to waste that paper, and just measuring up where we are. So me and not measuring because I don't do measurements, just ripping that. And just put that up there. Beautiful. So I've still got all this I can use for something else. Or you could just use that one piece of paper. Because it's double-sided, we're doing, I could almost, if I was just doing one page, you could just use that one piece. And that is beautiful. All right, flipping that over. I have a feeling I need to order some more tape. I think for the first time ever, I think I don't have hordes of tape locked up. So I think I'm going to have to, I'll wait till I come to the retreat, no doubt. I won't run out that quickly. So who is excited for the retreat? That's got so much going on with Tracy Scott. If you haven't secured your place for Tracy Scott, that's on the website. Vicky Booten, as I discussed earlier, there's still spots for that in November on the website. And unfortunately, if you missed out on the retreat in May, I think that one's sold out as well, although there may have been one spot come up. I'm not sure if that has been filled or not. Now I'm just going to pop some tape under this side while I'm here. And I'm just making sure I didn't miss any comments. Oh, hi, Sarah. It's actually Naomi, not Nat. I'm one of the brand ambassadors. Thanks for watching. I watched you the other day, actually, Sarah, on your Create and Craft show that you've got over in the UK. Yes, I can't wait. Oh, I knew you would be excited about Vicky, Sarah. I knew she's right up your alley. Unfortunately, I haven't quite worked out that I can get there yet. So I'm still on the. I've got a medical thing that I need to do in November, so I'm just waiting on my dates for that. So all I'm doing here is, now that that's stuck down, I'm just lifting this just with my finger to rough up the edge. because this is not, I don't do a lot of pretty scrapbooking pages. Having 2 boys and they're boys. All my pretty pages are when I'm doing crafting or something with my nieces or me and the girls. So yes, so just curling up those edges. Giving it a bit of a rough edge. You could go along and give a bit of ink or even run your brush with your magicals back down that edge there. I'm just going to leave it for now. So there we go. Now, let's have a look at what we've got from our Vicky Booten papers. So I have already cut out some of the reverse side of that paper, which is here. I've got this one here. I won't be using that pink in there. It doesn't really go with what I've got. Ah, thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sarah. Yes, the retreats are wonderful. So this will be my first Natalie May one. I'm very excited. So I don't want to use this whole bit, and I have cut it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep cutting. And I'm going to cut a few off because I don't want that big piece. And I might even, I think I'm going to cut, I'll keep that green in there. I think I'll cut this blue out, although the blues, I might cut this blue out. So these, I think I cut these out last year when I had COVID, so that, because I had plans to do something with it. Now, I'm not sure if I wanted to do them separately. Let's see how that goes. Now, I'm just going to play around here with a few of the ones I cut off to see if I like the look of them cut individually, or if I want to keep. Now, I've also got my photos that I haven't added yet, and I'm going to trim those off just really quickly, and I will mat those with something at the moment. So I'm using my Small Crafters Companion guillotine, which I just love for smaller things. I'm going to cut a little bit off the bottom of that one. Again, I don't measure. I just kind of look at what have I got going on there. And this, I don't generally make them both the same size unless the photos are something that is just of the same face but different. Same photo but he's pulling a different face or something. This one I'm going to trim, make it a bit thinner. And get his concentration. This is my crafty boy who's about to turn 4 on Tuesday, and he loves his craft. He's already drawing pictures, so I'm very excited about that because my other boy's not, or he's 13, so he doesn't particularly do crafting. All right, so I'm going to place these. I generally overlap them a little bit. So what I'm just doing is trying to get where I'm going to put those photos. Now, they'll be propped up and I'll have things behind them, so it doesn't matter what I've got here. But I'm just playing around with this. I do need to cut a little bit more off here, so I might cut this white one out. Now, I did cut earlier, I cut some of the edges off when I did this. And by earlier, I mean last year earlier when I was fussy cutting, because that's what you do when you've got COVID and you can't do anything else and you're itching to craft. You fussy cut on the couch, apparently. So I did cut a few of those off there, but that's okay because I can tuck some things in behind there. I really wanted to keep that blue in there, but the pattern, I might I think I'm going to trim that off and I can use that separately. So let's have a look at how that looks. I might need to trim one of those brown off as well. So I'm just playing in here. Oh, yay, your night off, Nat. That's exciting. You deserve it. Alrighty. So, okay, I think I'm okay with that. So just playing around, and I might even pop this blue down here, kind of off to the side. So this brown is, the orange is coming in with my wood, which thank God I've painted over those now. I don't have those wood anymore because I hated them. But it's also picking up a bit of the browny yellow tones in here. So that's how I pick my colours, and the green again. And it's the opposite side of this paper. So Vicky's already done, thanks Nat. Vicky's already done all the hard work for you by coordinating your papers. Their reverse side, they match. So it's a really easy way. So I will matte those photos. I often matte in black, but lately I've been matting with some of this. I'll see how I go with that. I might find some brown to matte in. But let's have a look at our... So I think I'm happy with that. And I think what I will do as well to bring in a bit of contrast, I will go around those with black as well. So I'm good with those hexagons. I'll move those out the way. And let's pull out... So I've done my placement here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my stencil again. And I've put my stencil in a safe spot. No, it's here. So this is where I'm going to do the layering of this stencil. So I'm going to do a couple over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a pencil, just a grey lead pencil. And I'm just going to put a dot in the middle there of a couple of these that I just want to do the pattern in. And again over here, just so that when I move all this, I can see which ones are the ones that I want to be showing the pattern. So moving all this off again, and I'm going back to my mixed media stuff. So it's a bit of a process, scrapbooking live, as I said. So what I can use here is, I'm actually going to, am I going to use paint or am I going to use ink? I think I'll use my ink this time. So I'm going to use both. See, working on the fly. So I'm going to use a distress ink here, and I'm just going to find a new pad. So I've got the blending tools, the ranged blending tools with the dome pad. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a bit of black. So I have done another page, which I'll show you at the end. And I've done a very similar process with this layering of the Vicky Booten stencils. And I've actually used black paint and black and white paint. So I will show you that after. So I need this one up here. So all I'm doing, and I'm just going to use my messy mat over here because I don't want it to be too blasé in your face. So let's just a bit of black. There we go. And then moving down to, did that one have the dot? Yep. So my dot is actually right underneath the cross. So you can see that we've got a bit of that's what we're getting. That's the effect we're getting. All right, so another one down here. And one down here. As I said, you could use paint, you could use black gesso, just for the fact that I'm doing it on a live Facebook. It's quicker for drying purposes if I use ink. So there's those ones, and just popping over to the other side, and I'll do the same thing over here. Someone's got one of those horn things in the football. I can hear it in the background, and it sounds like a lamb. And every now and then I think it's Blake crying in his bed and my husband's ignoring him, but it's the lamb, or it's the person with the horn on the football. Just make sure I haven't missed any comments. All right. So if you missed at the beginning, I'm doing some mixed media scrapbooking page with the Print Shop Vicky Bouton stencils, the 3-pack, and we're using Fernwood paper. All right, so that one I'm finished with, and I'm popping that in my water. And then this is the third stencil in the pack. So again, I am going to use paint for this one because I don't have white ink. Another thing you could do with this is to put embossing ink through it and use white embossing powder. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to make it a big mess. So I'm going to get some, white, what's closest to me? White Dilutions paint. Thanks, Susan. And, you know, I do what everyone else does. How do you think of ideas for your scrapbooking pages? Oh, yeah. You go through Facebook pages, or you go through Pinterest, or you look at, if you want to use Vicky Bouton papers, go to the Vicky Bouton page and have a look at what people have put on there. Scroll back through the Natalie May scrapbooking community to have a look at what people have done. You can even do a search in there. So just to dab this on, I'm going to use my crappy makeup sponge, and I'm going to just cut the end off because it's hard. So I'm just dabbing in my white paint, and if I line this up, the flower goes in the middle there. And what I love about these stencils is, like, you can get so many different techniques. Even on the example on the back that Vicky's got, she hasn't laid them up like this. This is just one thing that you can do, and I wanted to show you how you can layer them up to use on a scrapbooking page. I haven't used nearly enough paint, which is unlike me. But it's also, I like that there's a flower in there, but it's not too girly. It's more of a pattern than a flower. But you can certainly make it into flowers. And it would definitely, that flower could go with any of the ranges, but I particularly was thinking with the older colour study, there was a lot of flowers and bright colours in there. All right, so there we go. So we've got a bit of white coming into there as well. And sorry if I've missed any comments, but nope, goodo. I'm getting better at looking at my comments. All right. And just doing the same on this side. Bringing that white back into my mixed media over here. And to line it up, all I'm doing is putting that circle right in the middle of that cross and just dabbing that on there. And because I'm not using any other liquid other than the paint, it will dry pretty quickly. And lastly, so that stencil is the Pattern Maker stencil from Vicky Bouton. So there we go. Layered 3 ways of using that stencil. All right, popping that in my water. And I'll just clean up this paint. I honestly love this glass mat. I've moved it had a, if you haven't seen it, it's got a sticky, messy mat that goes over the top, but I've moved that out the way because this is just great to use. All right, now I'm going to bring some stamping in, and I'm using Print Shop again. And what's great about this range is that you can use it for so many different things. I particularly love this plain old circle. And I'm just going to use a little block because I want the crisp line of that. And all I'm going to do is use some archival ink and just outline. Now, I'm not looking for anything perfect here by any means, but look at how they just perfectly go together. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to off stamp a little bit with some of them, just to give them a bit of a shadow, just because I like that effect. And offset that one. And off the page as well. I always like to do one off the page. Alrighty. So that's a bit of stamping. I might bring a little bit of the dots. This one, love this. That's that one, I might actually use that, and I've just ripped my little thing that I had going on here. I might use that on a different piece of paper and cut it out and use that as a title, because he is doing crafting in my photos, which I do love. All right, so I'm going to swap my color, and I'm going to grab out a distress ink, and I think I'm going to use Crackling Campfire. So I'm going to test it first and just see how vibrant it is on a scrap piece of paper that I have here. All right, so I don't want anything that's too out there, but I want it to tie in. So let's have a look. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, I might offset it a bit, stamp it a bit. So I'm just going to bring that out there. Bit of marks. A few up the top. There. Yeah, that colour is perfect. So if you are wondering what colours they were again, if you missed that before, we have the maple syrup bronze magical in the background, and then the foreground is red hot poker orange, and then I'm using Crackling Campfire Distress Oxide for my stamping of this colour, which is just seems to be perfect. And I really like that dot stamp. Alrighty. Yes, it's a very, very versatile stencil set, Sarah. You're exactly right. And a lot of Vicky's are. And interchangeable between the ranges. So that's what I do love about Vicky's things. And of course, Natalie is one of the biggest stockists in Australia of Vicky Bouton. So back to where we were now. Let's bring my photos back in here. Yeah, how did I have it before? Did I have it like that? No, I think I had it up that way. No, I was like that. All right. So let me just play. I'm not sure if I had it like that before, but that looks good. I think leaving those two greens brings this green back into it. And I'm I think I'm going to keep that blue there. And what I might do is use that stamp, this one, love this, and on a separate piece of paper and print, stamp it and put that on there as part of my title. So let's put this cheeky little monkey on here. How did I have this before? I think I was down here. So now I'm needing to, yeah, that's better. I don't mind a bit of an angle as well too. All right, so I think I definitely need to mat them to give them, to lift them. So I think I'll just do black. I think it's just easiest to mat with black. So I will just quickly do that. And I should have prepared myself earlier for that one. Sorry guys, just talk amongst yourself. One of my favourite Nellie May sayings. All right, so I just use black Casey Craft cardstock, and again, I don't measure. I just stick them on and then cut it. So where is my double-sided tape? Is anyone crafting along with me tonight? I bet Linda is. She's normally crafting, or unless she's watching the football. I don't know what's happening to my comments. I can't see what's going on. There we go. Oh, that's a great idea, Christine. Double-sided tape, nalliemay.com.au. It's the Express It tape Tegan. I use the Express It tape, but I know you're not crafting tonight. I'm shocked. I know that there is, I think Studio Light also have double-sided tape as well. I haven't used that one, but no doubt that is a quality tape. Football, oh yeah. I thought so. Thursday night footy. All right, so I really, really don't measure. I'm literally eyeballing it, and I don't care if it's wonky. That's just how I go. I know not everyone likes it like that, but that's just how I like to scrap. Yeah, that black's definitely brings something to the page. Oh, ATC backgrounds. Of course you're multitasking, Susan. That's wonderful. I haven't got into ATCs yet. I'm sure I will one day, but I'm really trying to get, I think that side's a bit wonky. Here, look, I do care sometimes. Yeah, I'm trying to get my scrapbooking up to date because I got so into art journaling when COVID came around, and I loved it so much, and I neglected my scrapbooking. ATCs, yeah, they're like, I don't know what it stands for. Artist trading cards, is that right? Artist trading cards. Oops, and I just moved that. I'll have to do that again. They're like the size of football cards, Tegan. You would know that. Yeah, artist trading cards. That's the one. People do swaps and that sort of thing. So, and I have trimmed that off a little bit too far on that side, but that's okay. Let's keep going. So I'm popping my, that's much better. So I think I'm going to pop that there. And I just like that just looks so good. The mixed media element there. I'm really, really happy with how that turned out. All right, so now I'm going to pull out, I have two, actually I have more than two, little pockets full of paper embellishments. So I've got all my Vicky Boughton stuff plus a few other things just dumped in here. I don't actually have, I was going to do some printing. No, I won't do that. I think these ones won't actually go because they're all the bright things. I think yeah, I know what I'm going to do. All right. So sorry, I'm thinking on the fly here and I've just sparked a bright idea. So I'm just going to pull out my Vicky Boughton stamps again. I do have more. But I do have the Fernwood stamp set, so that goes with the papers. And so I've got this one. So it's got the leaf, it's got the moth. Oh, I did have the moths. Where are they? Here we go. I knew I had something else prepared. All right, I'm not sure that the moths go on this page, but let me just have a look and see how we go. Oh no, they do. They do go. That one's half a moth because he's obvious, so he needs to sit there. So if you didn't see at the beginning, this was one of the pages in the Fernwood album, and I fussy cut the moths out. Yeah, I actually don't mind that. I put one up there. I was going to use the dragonfly stamp, but I don't want the big one. But I actually think I like these moths better. But particularly the colours work well. So like that's how easy it is to embellish your page with the Vicky Boughton papers. Of course, she's made it easy for you by having ephemera packs that you can purchase. But you can also fussy cut her pages up as well. There's one there. Another little one. I don't want to overdo it, but I think he might go there. Beautiful. Oh, no, I don't like that one there. I think he'll have to go over here. And I think this one needs to go over there too. All right, I really like that. Okay. So, like, you don't need to over embellish. I'm not. I love, and I've seen Jackie do it. She does beautiful layered scrapbooking pages. I have no idea how to do that. So it's not something that I know how to do, and it's not something that I'd love to be able to do it, I'm sure. So there you go. There's a class I need to do. But I don't have a lot of other layers, especially when I've got mixed media in there, because I don't want to cover it all up. Now, I'm looking for my stamp to get those that wording in there. So we might just stick this down now. Oh, here it is. Now I could put a bigger title in there, and I might chuck a couple of words in there. That I do have another book that's got my thickers in it. And if you took advantage of the sale the other week with the thickers, so that might actually go really well. This is Vicky Boughton's thickers, and I haven't even used them. I don't know which range this. Oh, Evergreen and Holly. There you go. That was a Christmas range. I clearly didn't use that. So that could go well with that page. I do have another one of Vicky's here. And I think this might be from, it might even be from this range. So I could bring that white in there. Actually, I don't think I'll bring the gold in. So it's just another good a good set of words or phrase starters. Besides the thickers is the 49er Market chipboard words. So there is a couple of orange colours in there, so I could use crazy. That's appropriate. Good. Look. We'll bring the yellow in today. Just put that down there. That might work too. Let's see how that yellow is. So this is from an older range, the Spectrum Sherbet, but I know that there's beautiful new ranges out, and they have the same chipboards, so you can use those. And I'm just going to pull that over here. Just wanted to get to that word today. Not sure that I like that colour. I might have to play with that. I might have to think about that afterwards. But that's just how like my process goes in my brain. So let's stick this down, and then I'll show you my, actually I can stick this down afterwards. How about that? And let me show you my, so this is a nice quick page. So I will also finish up with a border around the edge. I will pop probably a couple of extra things and the word here, plus my stamp. Love this that I'm going to stamp on. And I'll take some photos and show you in the morning. But here's a couple, one that I did in a very similar style with the Sweet Rush range. So I'll just move that one out the way. And this is another one that I've done with the same stencil and the same stamp pack. So they're the Print Shop, Vicky Bruton Print Shop stencil and stamp set. And then this is the Sweet Rush papers and ephemera up here. These are cut out of the papers as well. More ephemera in the background there, and just layering with the papers. Again, that Magicals, and I think I've used a flat Magical in the background of this one, and then use that stamping technique with your stencil over the top to get that pattern. And I've double layered up my paper here to bring that yellow in. So really easy to do. Layering, this one's got a few more layers than the other one, a bit more white space, which is perfect. And yeah, and I've used some old rub-ons that I've had for about 15 years there as well. Just happened to go. Yeah, the blues, I always work in blues. Yeah, it is, Sarah. And I just went on to Page Maps and saw some layouts that just had ripped edges, but it is, I actually really love how you can just rip a bit and add a few pieces of paper in there. It's just a bit different to putting, you know, layering up under your photo, and you don't have to use the whole page as well. So, yeah, so there's that one. I will take some photos of this once I've finished that page, but so easy to do. You can also do this on a art journal page. Have a go of that technique using your Magicals with your stencil to use as a stamp. Two-tone layering. I might even do one in my journal using that same technique and pop that one up as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's a bit different doing scrapbooking pages on a live, and oh great, Tegan, new things you've learnt. That's great. Yeah, scrapbooking's a little bit different on a live than art journaling is, but I'm trying to do a bit more because I know that a few of you requested some scrapbooking pages. So thanks for watching, and of course All the products that I've used today are are from Natalie May Scrapbooking. Have a look at the clearance section if you haven't already. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Rachel and Diane. Big clearance section in the big clearances, I should say, in the clearance section on the website at nataliemay.com.au. And I hope you find some bargains. Particularly have a look at the Art by Marlene's in the specials. I know that there's some wonderful stamps and stencils in there that I've got in my collection, and they're very discounted. So grab yourself some bargains. And thanks for watching, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks with another live. So thanks, everybody.